Hey, look over there, another horror remake. Yay. Hello everybody, welcome to MaffmanJones Movie Reviews. I'm your host, John Maffio, and today's featured film is the remake of the 1970 Stephen King classic based on his own novel, Carrie. And it stars Chloe Grace Moretz and Julianne Moore. The story is the same. Carrie is a young high school senior who, at the beginning of the movie, discovers her first period during her gym class. Ouch. And she gets embarrassed. She's a very introverted person, and everybody makes fun of her. But things turn around when one of the popular boys asks her to prom. But if you've seen the old movie, you know what happens at prom. And then I won't say anything else. But you should know the movie, because it's a classic. I was actually kind of looking forward to this remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it, because I really like Chloe Grace Moretz. Not in that way, you dirty motherfucker. I think she's a good actress. She's only 16 years old, and she's getting all these roles. And in this movie, she doesn't play it as great as Sissy Spacek did in the original, in my opinion, but she did her own interpretation, and she was a very good Carrie, and you felt like she was invested in the role. It didn't feel like she was just reading the lines off the screenplay, and neither does the rest of the cast. Everybody else does a great job. Julianne Moore plays a very creepy mother, and she is that mother that is very strict, and she calls breasts dirty pillows. But, I mean, she takes that realm of a mother who's worried about her son or daughter and takes it to another level. And you never want to have a mom like that, otherwise you want to move out as quickly as possible. Judy Gear, the girl who, always shows her breasts on Arrested Development, she actually plays a really cool character. She plays a teacher, the gym teacher, and she's the only one of the only people in the high school who has sympathy and compassion for Carrie, and she plays it off well. All supporting high school actresses and actors, including the guy from Chronicle, Alex Russell, who replaces John Travolta's character. Everybody in this movie does a great job, and I think without the solid performances of the supporting cast, this movie would have felt a little bit weaker. And it's not particularly a strong movie, but it's not a weak movie either, and I'll get into that right now, why it is not a weak remake. It's actually a pretty good remake, for what it is. It just honestly felt genuine. I feel like the director of this film, the cast, the crew, I feel like everybody behind it, of course it's a cash grab. Every movie in Hollywood is a cash grab, whether you like it or not, in some way, shape, or form. But I felt like they really wanted to make an interpretation of Carrie that could be introduced to people of this generation, because the last one came out over 30 years ago. And that is a classic, but I understand people are born in the year 2000 or later now, and they don't know what Carrie is, so it's a very good movie on its own, and you don't have to watch the original to appreciate this new one. It does go beat for beat for the most part with the original story, but some alterations were made, including some parts of the ending, and a lot of aspects were modernized. And it actually makes a lot of sense because the use of smartphones and tablets and devices, YouTube. It's also not utilized in a forceful way, like, haha, look, YouTube, ho, Facebook, Twitter. It actually, it's done in not a subtle way, but a way that, makes sense. Semi-spoiler alert, but towards the ending with the infamous prom scene, the original prom scene in Carrie with Sissy Spacek and John Travolta was very brutal. In this movie, there are brutal aspects to the scene, but it's not as brutal in a widespread aspect. The scope is not as crazy. It's actually more toned down, but the deaths are definitely gruesome. The only things I would say to contribute to the negative side of the new Carrie movie is that it feels the modernization is good, but the editing also feels a little bit too, quick. It felt like it was at too many times trying to be compatible with an audience that has ADD, is full of teenagers, or just people who just can't pay attention because the scene is moving too slowly. So it felt like really quickly paced. And the ending of the movie, not the entire ending, but the last shot of the movie was so corny. And then it led into a pop song for the credits, and it almost ruins the tone of the movie, because the tone for the most part is consistent, and I liked it. And then the ending happens, the very, very ending, the last moment of the last scene, and it's like, oh. Overall, I'm going to say that the remake of Carrie, the reboot, the reimagining, whatever you want to call it, was a solid remake for what it was. You don't have to watch the original to see this one, and it stands out on its own as a good thriller/horror movie. The performances are fantastic. Chloe Grace Moretz and Julianne Moore, they knock it out of the park. The supporting cast is actually also very good, but for the most part, like I said before, the movie does vicariously live through the original Carrie movie, making it more unnecessary. They could have taken a few more risks, taken a few more chances, made the movie feel a little bit different, but I don't mind because I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed watching the movie and the performances. I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5 stars. It's a full-course Applebee's meal without all the excess of salt. But I want to know from you guys, have you seen Carrie 2013 with Chloe Grace? Or have you seen the original with Sissy Spacek? Or have you seen both? Let me know what you thought about both. Compare and contrast. Do whatever you want to do in the comments down below. Please subscribe to my channel, MaffmanJones, so you won't miss another review from me ever again. Also, like the video, and check out Facebook, Twitter, and We Live Film in the info box. I'm John Maffio, and I'm not afraid as a 20-year-old to say that I have a little bit of a thing for Chloe Grace Moretz. She's only 2 years away from the age of consent, so hold up. Hold up! I'm not saying I would do anything to her because that would be really creepy. I am saying that she is cute, she has a good thing going on, and a few years down the line from this point, she will be a girl that I would look out for. That's all. I'm only 20. I'm not 40 years old. Wow, I went on a little bit of a rant there. Peace.